Truthfully Speaking Grace is a global podcast dedicated to connecting, celebrating, and inspiring listeners with empowering conversations. Join host Agatha Corbin as she gracefully builds with real people, sharing real stories, and unlocking real enlightening truth. Welcome. This is Truthfully Speaking Grace podcast with your amazing host, Agatha Corbin, giving you real conversation with powerful topics and connecting with real inspirational people from all over the world. So sit back, relax, and let's get this podcast started. Welcome to Truthfully Speaking Grace podcast. We're here today with two phenomenal filmmakers that are located here in the Midwest and in Ohio region. And so I would like for them to talk about who they are, their truth in diversifying the film industry and what their struggles are and what their triumphs are and what kind of vision that they can give to young up and coming filmmakers, men, women, of all races that's trying to get into this industry. So my name's Agatha Corbin, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the mic over to the two gentlemen that are here on my podcast. Introduce yourselves.
Hi guys, my name is Jose Byers.
I'm Derek Talib. I am one of the co-owners with Jose and Rebecca Hart Franklin, and another owner, Alan Talib, of i70movies.
All right, yay, congratulations. How did you guys get started?
How I got started was I used to do theater and drama with the church I attended called the Grape Nut Players way back when. And so my acting started on a church stage. Then I went from theater to kind of getting into bodybuilding, and this is where I met Derek. And Derek was a bodybuilder. He'd been a bodybuilder for a long time, and I wanted to bounce some ideas off of him. I'd seen him in the gym a couple times before, never really got a chance to talk to him. Then, I asked him, it's like, hey man, do you think you could, look at me, and try to help me, get my diet, my exercise right? And he was like, yeah, and whatever. Then I signed with an agency in the middle of doing bodybuilding, and he and I had become good friends by then. And I asked him, I said, hey man, do you think this would be a good idea? And he was like, oh my goodness, you're getting representation from an agency? Yes, definitely. And I was scared, so I had never done anything like that. So I sat on the contract for about 30 days, about a month before I actually signed on it. And then I went ahead and signed up, and then we went from there. I got some, commercials, got some print ads, some modeling, and then one of our big breaks was Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Wow, how cool!
I had gotten an audition or a notification for an audition, and I told Derek about it, and I'll let him go from there. But I wasn't going to do it at first.
See, that's usually how it works when you're doing this journey. It's usually when you don't really, and that's really the blessing.
Right.
And so I'll give you how my background was. I did theater at Ohio University, and it wasn't my major, but I was able to secure like 3 lead roles in main stage plays without being a major at Ohio University. While I was there, we get bored during finals week, so we would write movies and plays and actually shoot them. And one of the ones that I wrote was called Abraham Cain and Philly Lawless, and it ended up turning into a movie called St. Gabriel that we ended up doing with Jose.
Yes.
But what happened was I had put that away for a long time, and then I met Jose at the gym, and he told me he was doing acting. He was trying to get ready for a bodybuilding show, and next thing you know, we became workout partners and best friends. And along the way, I told him about St. Gabriel that I had written, and a long time ago. And he goes, that sounds like a great story, man. You should do that. And so, well, I said, yeah, you're right. So I started actually writing it as a real script. But what happened was he got Captain America: The Winter Soldier sent to him to audition for it. And he actually contacted me and said, hey, man, something you maybe want to do, because looking for African Americans to play like soldiers or military. And I said, well, you should go. He's like, no, I don't know if I should go. I don't know if I should go. I said, yeah, I'll go if you go. And he said, well, I'll wait and see. So it took him, he said it takes 3 people to let him know something before he'll actually do it.
Right.
And so I was the second person to say you should go. So the third person said, yeah, you go. So we all went. Both of us went to the audition. Gaitha.
I'm losing you. Hold on.
To clean up. Okay.
I think we got you back now.
We got you back now.
Okay.
Okay. So we ended up traveling to Cleveland for the audition. And what happened was we went there and they changed the location on us.
Oh, wow.
So we went to the location. Yeah. And so we got there and there was this guy that also went to the same location. And we said, look, we know where the location is. You give us a ride there and we'll get you into the audition. So he said, all right, cool. So we got in his car, went to the audition. There was a line that went all the way around the building.
Oh, wow.
When we first got there, we had no idea that the line went around the building. We walked into the library. It was at the Metropolitan Library. We're saying, well, where are the auditions for Captain America? Oh, they're right down the steps down there. We walked right in.
Yeah.
Divine appointment.
Yes. There were 5,000 people there.
5,000?
We had 5,000, and we walked right past all of them up the steps and said, hey, where's the audition at? He goes, in these rooms. All right, cool. We walked right past it and sat down, and we're like, okay. And how they do it, you're sitting there like, we're sitting here like this. They'll have 2 or 3 people go in at a time, hand you the script, and you'll take the script and have to do a reading in front of a wall and say your name, your height, all that kind of stuff. And so Jose went first. He did his thing. I got to see him audition. And then I went after him and I auditioned. And it was fun. One guy didn't even have headshots. We were helping him get his headshots together on a computer and stuff so he could actually audition. But so we did that. We left. And Jose got a call back. And what was impressive was they chose him out of the 5,000 there, out of people in Atlanta, and out of people in Los Angeles. So there was thousands upon thousands of people that actually auditioned for this. I didn't get the call. So what happened was he was down there for a month filming. And I'm at work, and I get a call, and it says, hi, this is Marvel Studios. And I go, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, what, really?
Yeah, because it's been a month. So I'm like, they go, hey, you still want to be in Captain America? I go, sure.
Why not?
Exactly. Let's say, you want to be a SHIELD agent or you want to be a police officer? I said, whatever you want. I said, look, okay, you're going to be a SHIELD agent. So we went down and we filmed. We were down on different days, filming different things. But what we did that helped us is we were what was called preferred extras. What that means is you work with all the main actors.
Oh,
and
wow.
So we worked with every single main actor in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, except for Samuel L. Jackson. I covered most of the bad guys. He got most of the good guys and some bad guys. He got Robert Redford, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans. I got Chris Evans, Frank Grillo, and some of the other bad guys. And it was funny because instead of being there and going, wow, we're working with these people, we were actually asking them questions about how to get into the film industry. What would you do?
There you go. So that was your moment, that truth for you to get from the pinnacle of action film. You know, I am a geek. Okay, me and my sons, when they were young, we would go to those movies, Marvel movies. The Marvel movies was our thing. So yes, I'm a sister from the hood that loves the Marvel film. So this is just so
That's right.
So, okay, so Derek, at that moment, did it shift for you?
What happened with me really was I talked to the Russo brothers briefly, and they kind of inspired me to go, you know what? I thought instead of being the person that's going, God, I hope they call me back so I can get a part. I said, I'd rather own it and be the one calling people and giving them an opportunity.
Yes.
I said, I talked to Jose, and he and I are just like right on the same page. And he's like, yeah. He goes, why work for somebody else? We can do it ourselves and create for ourselves, give opportunity to ourselves. And it was Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo was one of the guys was one of the main bad guys in the movie.
He played Crossbones
in this movie.
Yeah.
He was in the fight on the elevator, and he was like one of the main bad guys that fought Captain America. And Frank told Jose, well, you'll never be able to do this in Ohio. You need to move to New York if you want to do this.
New York or LA. And that struck a nerve with me, because I'm like, no, you guys are here filming this in Cleveland. I said, we're not in New York, we're not in LA, we're here in Ohio, and we're filming it here. So I told Derek, I said, dude, that gave me motivation to do this even more. I'm like, I'm gonna prove him wrong. I love Frank.
You go.
If you ever watch this, I love you, bro. We had a good time on set, but man, you lit a fire under me, and I was like, I'm not gonna stand for that.
Never tell someone with tenacious spirit.
Right.
No.
Right. Because this makes us work harder to prove you wrong.
There you go.
Right. So thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
and what happened was we really got our break, and this is why I think it's very interesting, because we're talking about diversity and minorities giving each other chances. We got our real break when we worked on a project with Nicole Bowles, who had a real life story about her life, and she needed us to write the script for it and direct it and produce it. So we're really just going to do the directing. So we wrote it and directed it for her. She gave us our first chance, which gave me the experience in writing a script. And her story is really strong. So we always told her, once we get on our feet strong enough, we're going to go back and do her story right, because it's a very good, gripping story. And we always give credit to Nicole Bowles, who's a sister that actually said, hey, you know what? Let me give you guys a chance to do this for me. And so we started doing it. It was it's going to be a television show or a movie. We haven't decided yet, called A Child Called Miracle, that I'm going to write, and Jose's going to help me direct it, to go back and give back to what she did for us.
So that goes right into, what have you worked on? What are some of your past films that you've either written, produced, acted? So give us some titles there.
Oh yeah, well let's see. We go with Jose was more the actor. I was more the writer, director. Okay. Jose has done. What was the first thing you did when you met Kevin?
It was a film in Cincinnati called, it was in Cleveland, called Lux and Tenebris. It had Eric Roberts in it, Julia Roberts' brother. I didn't get to work with him because he was in the first part of the movie, and I was more towards the middle end with Derek. We did that one. Of course, you know about Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And then I did I Am Wrath, and Derek did too. Yeah. That film here in Columbus with John Travolta and Chris Maloney. So we were in that one. So
and I did Tank.
He did the Tank.
We almost were in
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, it was funny because we went there for the audition for Batman vs Superman. It was in Detroit.
Yeah.
And it was, again, 5,000 people. Yeah. And we had to wait in line.
Yeah, we had to wait in line on this one.
So it was cool.
No special walk.
Yeah. Exactly, no special walk this time. What was cool is we walked into this crowded auditorium, right? And the casting director goes, hey, Jose and Derek, what are you guys doing? Get up here. And they moved us right up there, and they said, we're gonna get you guys some clothes and everything else. And the casting took when they were shooting, took place when we were shooting our first incarnation of Saint Gabriel.
Okay.
So I've written Saint Gabriel, I wrote Child Called Miracle, Kingdom of Darkness, A Wicked Breed, Dark Iris, the feature Dark Iris, I'm writing a holiday film, a faith-based film, and there's one other I'm writing. I can't remember what it is.
TV show.
Oh yeah, and a television show called Federal
Let's
Court.
just throw that in.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now. The thing we've been doing is we got offered to do St. Gabriel in L.A., New York, and Atlanta. And
Really?
they like the script. They like what we're trying to do. And what we ended up doing was wanting to keep it here in Ohio because this doesn't exist in Ohio.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to own it and kind of want to be the ones responsible for bringing that here. So we've turned down some offers because we want to try and do it here.
Oh wow!
And we would lose the creativity part. The ownership of that. They would want to take it over. They want the idea, but then they want to take it over. And Derek is like, no, I wrote this. This is close and near dear to my heart. I want to keep it.
Right.
So we turn a lot of people down because we want to do it here in Ohio. We want to keep the creative control of it, and we want to cast people from. There's a lot of talent here.
Yes, it is.
And we want to use our people here.
And when we did,
which builds economic growth in our own community, which we need, especially in the entertainment industry.
Right.
Which goes into what we're doing, A Wicked Breed. We started doing, Jose and I learned, is that you do the business first and then creativity second. Because you have to figure out how do you make your money, and how do you pay your investors, and how do you make it a viable, repeatable business model. And so we've created a business model that actually works. So what we're doing is we're networking with a lot of people that kind of are movers and shakers in the arts community right now, like John Doherty and a few other people. He's one of the directors in the Columbus Film Commission. And we're working with a lot of other people whose names I won't throw out, but they're big enough people that they are helping us, and we really appreciate the help we're getting. Right. We launched a Seed and Spark campaign for our next Wicked Breed because we want to keep it here. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to do a crowdfunding platform for that. So if you want to give, we'll give you the information for that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. Definitely get that information out there on the show. We will definitely have it on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's just then go into the crowdfunding project. What is that project?
Well, the crowdfunding project, what it is I wrote, because I'm not teaching you we do the business piece first. Mm-hmm. And a lot of projects, you'll have to have a named actor for them. Mm-hmm. But with horror, you don't necessarily need a named actor for it. It helps because there's pre-sales and foreign distribution, and it helps with streaming. It helps having a face on the box. Mm-hmm. But with horror, it really is the concept and what is the actual movie. So you don't need a lot of named actors for it. Again, it helps, but you don't have to have it. Mm-hmm. So I decided to write a horror film called A Wicked Breed. Okay. And what we wanted to do was, we don't need a whole lot of money. We can shoot the movie anywhere for $75,000 to $100,000 to $3 million. I wrote it for all the budgets.
Okay.
Because I write for targeting what we may possibly need to make the movie. And when you shoot a movie, what happens is a lot of the funding is tied up in named actors. Mm-hmm. So you may only have to pay X number of dollars to actually film the movie. But say you have, I don't know, Bruce Willis in it, and Bruce Willis is $1 million. So say you can shoot the movie for $100,000, but now it's $1 million plus $100,000, because now you got Bruce Willis for the $1 million and you $100,000 to pay all your crew. Mm-hmm. So that's when your money comes in. And then you have CGI effects and post-production and all that kind of stuff. Marketing, yeah. Is it going to be a theater release? Is it going to go straight to streaming? Is it going to go to video on demand? Yes, exactly. Right. And so you have to think about all that. And then where our business model is, right now we want to do movies that are $100,000, $300,000, or a little bit below.
Okay.
Because
in Ohio.
In Ohio, right. We did Dark Iris, which was our first film. And what happened was we're doing St. Gabriel, right? And the two cinematographer and our sound guy that we had, they were on Captain America: The Winter Soldier, so they were really good. And they liked our script. They said, look, man, we'll give you a deal. We'll work cheaper because we like you guys. But we can't do it that week. So I said, okay, we had everything set up for that week. So a short called Dark Iris, and I wrote it in 15 minutes on my lunch hour because I wanted to test. It was crazy. I wanted to test our cinematographer that we're going to use.
Wait a minute, time out. How you write a movie on your lunch break? That's fascinating. That means you are truly talented.
His brain never stops.
Wait a minute.
It's on YouTube right now. Right. It's a 9-minute short film on YouTube called Dark Iris. If you get a chance, check it out.
Oh yeah, check it out, audience.
Yeah, because what happened was, we shot it in one day
for about 6 hours.
For 6 hours, and then we edited it and slapped it up on YouTube and said, okay, that's cool. Now we know we can trust this guy to shoot. Did a good job, and we forgot about it. Well, somebody in California saw it and goes, hey, you should enter this in our.
A year later, mind you, we went up there a year later, and we totally forgot about it because we were moving on to other stuff.
Yeah, because that brain is already written for 10 other films.
Right. And I'm sitting there, and what got with Dark Iris was, I thought, would it be cool if somebody had a stalker, and that stalker was trained assassin or trained killer? What would they do if they had that kind of stalker? Then I thought of a whole twist about them having a stalker, and I said, oh, I can write this. And I wrote it in, like I said, 15 minutes. So what ended up happening was we shot that. We got put in a film festival in California. They asked us to put it in a film festival. We won that film festival. Right. And then it came back here, and somebody heard about it named David Gwynn, who's another screenwriter. He said, hey, this is a nice story. I like what you guys did with it. I'd like to work with you guys and make this a feature film. And so David worked with us, and we made it a feature film.
Okay.
And part of our origin story, we wanted to be, like, so we push diversity, and we push making women have strong roles in these films, because a lot of times I noticed in films, and say to Jose, is they make women garnish on the side. Like, oh, and here's the wife, or here's the girlfriend. And I'm like, no.
Thank you. Women, thank you.
Right, like Regina King's kicking butt in Watchmen, right?
And she has an Emmy nomination for that. Again.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. So we ended up bringing on a female to work with us, who's the co-owner. You'll talk to her eventually. Is Rebecca Hart Franklin.
Can't wait.
She really busted her butt, worked with us, impressed us. And so, let's bring her on as more than just an actress and a producer. So we actually let her be part owner of the company, because we thought this is the kind of work ethic we want from people. And she understood the vision of diversity that we wanted to push. And we're big on that, big on strong female roles. And that's what attracted her. We are very big on having women have more, like when I write something, and when you see the film, Dark Iris, the movie, the feature film, not the short, there's a role that was written for a man. And we said, no, let's give it to a woman, because it makes no difference. It's a strong role, and let's give it to a woman and twist it around. Because I played the role in the short, and in the film we gave it to another actress named Mary Lee Osborne, who did a great job with it. And we wanted to give it. And so we made strong roles for our female characters. So that's one of our things we're big on, is giving strong female roles, pushing diversity, putting diversity not just behind the camera, but in front of the camera as well. We try and put a mixed bag of everybody in our films.
So what do you think are the biggest challenges facing minority filmmakers and independent filmmakers right now, other than COVID? Because COVID right now is the boss.
Oh yeah,
COVID is messing everybody.
I say on all my podcasts, COVID now has become the boss of every industry, of every genre, of every household, and everyone in the world, particularly right now in the United States. But besides that, what are some of the challenges that someone, a minority filmmaker right now has, or independent filmmaker? And I really want to hear that truth.
Yeah. One of the challenges that we're experiencing right now is that Ohio, Central Ohio, Columbus area, Central Ohio, they don't understand the entertainment market.
Mm-hmm.
They are like, okay, I know movies are made. I see movies being made. They don't really know how they're made. They don't know how much it costs to make it. They don't know how they get the return on their investment back. And the thing about what we can do here opposed to Hollywood is, let's just say we make a movie and we send it out to Hollywood. They will not look at it if it's under $1 million. They won't even touch it. They won't even look at it.
Right. We did a movie. We did our like you talking about truth. One of the biggest truths is money.
Yeah.
Because what happens is there's people that have boatloads of money, but because Ohio is more of a brick and mortar place where I need to see a building, I need to see a product.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you make the product. This is how many widgets you make. This is how much I pay for the widgets. That's how Ohio kind of works with its money. But there's a big art scene here that doesn't understand that there's a multi-billion-dollar business and industry they can actually bring here if they use the right business model.
Right.
And what's going on is being a minority is, one, hard to get in to the industry without being a minority.
Mm-hmm.
So you can double that being a minority. And part of the reason is there's nobody teaching how do you make a film. There's nobody that's doing quality control.
Right.
For example, anybody that has an iPhone can make a film.
Right.
What happens is they make that movie, it's garbage, and people think that's what you can do, and that makes other people not want to give money to other projects. Mm-hmm. The first thing I would tell any up-and-coming filmmaker is, one, business first, art second.
Yep.
Two, you have to make something quality.
Mm-hmm.
If it isn't quality, they're not going to be interested in it.
Right. Don't cut any corners. I mean, make it how you want to make it. And you can do it on a budget, and you can still make a quality film. Like I was telling you, like LA won't look at anything under $1 million. We don't have to have $1 million to make a quality film.
Right.
You know, we can do what we are given, and we can still put all the bells and whistles on it that we would need to make a quality movie.
And what we have to do, and as far as the challenge, is getting people not to think money first.
Okay.
And I mean that from, if I know somebody that has a really quality camera, right? Mm-hmm. And good lenses, that means it's going to be a nice quality look to the film. You want to think about that. You want to pay your sound guys. You want to pay your crew. You got to make sure your crew's taken care of. You got to make sure you have quality equipment. Because if you can do that, it'll make the quality of the feature look better and thus make your stuff look better. You can't cut corners to make a quality feature film or a short. Because
you take care of your staff. You take care of your workers. And right. That is an awesome truth that I also in my other life do small business development, nonprofit development back in the day. So we always talk about, if you want to build any kind of business, you always want to make sure that the people that work for you and with you are taken care of, because it makes you look good. You have no other choice but to have a great product. So I really love this part of this podcast.
And I can tell you this: what we've done is this: if you have 100% of the profit, right? Normally, what happens is you have an investor. The investor gets whatever they invested plus 15%. So, say somebody gives you $50,000, and they get their $50,000 plus 15% back, and the other people don't get anything until they get that back. So what you can do is there's another 50% of the movie. 50% goes to the investor. The other 50% can be broken down and broken up. So you can, we've done with our business model for like St. Gabriel and a couple of our projects is we've taken and given a percentage to the crew and to some of the main actors. So we may not at first go, okay, here's your $1,500 or whatever you're getting to be in this role, right? Or here's your money to be doing the camera work or whatever, or editing. We'll say, okay, here's also a little percentage on the back end. So say this movie goes on forever, because movies can go on for as long as you want to. As long as that movie makes money, they will get 2%, 5% forever of whatever that movie does.
Right, because they're with us long. I mean, making a movie is not an 8-hour, 5-hour job. I mean, sometimes you're 12, 13, 14 hours. And when we were doing Dark Iris, 20-hour days making this film. Because, I mean, we only had 2 weeks to make it. So everybody just dug in. And, yeah, there were some long days. We almost worked 24 hours one day.
Yeah. And,
So they
and,
become family. They become that family.
Right. And you become a team so that you know, they know you, you know them, they know what you want to see. They'll be invested in the project because, one, they're going to get some money in the back end. And two, they want to see the quality work because they believe in you. We have a lot of people that believe in us and in our projects. And as we go further up in the industry and we move further along, we're not going, oh, well, we made it now, goodbye. We're actually still using these people and they're going to grow with us.
Which is job growth, workforce development. Hello, Ohio. That's one of your biggest things. Workforce development. Okay, I have to put that tag out.
Yes. Economic growth in the industry. We want to bring a multi-billion-dollar industry here. We want to train our talent here because we have a lot of talent here in the Midwest, especially in Ohio.
Yeah.
And three, we want to make sure and ensure that we put out quality product. And Jose and I, as far as independent film, the biggest problem everybody runs into is money. So you end up getting these cheaper versions. And they try to pass off independent film as stuff they see at from Cannes film festivals, where it's got a list of all these stars in it. And because it didn't take $1 million, it took 500,000. It's an independent film. And we're talking about real independent film where it's like they don't have any money. They're trying to work for peanuts to get people do it long hours. That independent film, you have to have support and infrastructure that we have here, but we have to get people that have money in the arts community to invest in the right people. Because everybody, I have to put this in a nice way.
Tell the truth.
Okay, speaking of the truth, you can't give money to everybody because everybody's projects are not of equal stature. If you're trying to grow something, you got to give money to the people that are already ready to go and want to do it here and can do it at a quality level.
Okay.
How you base that is if they have a business model.
Yes.
If they have a business model and they have it broken down of, okay, we're going to make the movie for X, Y, and Z. This is all the things that we need in place to make it happen. Finances, distribution, your market, sales, all that stuff, your demographics, everything. Everything has to be calculated and put into a business plan. So when you go ask somebody for money and they're like, well, why am I giving you money? This is why you're giving us money because X, Y, and Z.
Because you have an actual excellent package.
Right.
And that's what in the business world, in our world, that's what we want to see. We want to see our investment in return and what our name is. Because we're giving our money, but we're also giving our name.
Right, absolutely.
That product. Okay, brothers, preach. This is true. This is what our young, up-and-coming producers, directors, even in the music industry. Because the one thing about my millennial sons and nieces and business owners are educating me is that they tell me, it's a lot of trash out there, Mom.
Yes.
And they show it to me. And and no disrespect to whatever artist, but even in their mind, this is not quality, and they're throwing money at them, and they're putting it out there, thinking that's what we want to hear, and that's not what they want to hear.
And another thing,
now for you, see.
Another thing, what you want to do, why you want to have a business plan, is because you're going to get some people in the industry that are not honest. And they're going to try to rip you off.
No.
But if you have your business plan in place, you're going to be able to see that before it even happens. You're like, no, we didn't talk about this percentage. We talked about this. And if you have everything in writing, boom, they can't rip you off. And a lot of people, they'll sell their soul because they want something out there. They're like, I want to do it. And then they get ripped off so bad.
Right. And it's little basic things. Like anytime you have a project, you set up an LLC for that project. So if you have a movie, and say the movie, like say a Wicked Breed. A Wicked Breed will be its own business entity. And so it'll be an LLC to have a contract set up for a Wicked Breed. Not i70movies, we're producing it, but a Wicked Breed will be its own business. So money will go into a wicked breed.
Right.
And then if anything happens, it's a wicked breed that gets in trouble, not us.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you have to do that because movies fail, accidents happen on set, all kinds of stuff. You have to have insurance.
COVID.
All this stuff. Right.
I mean,
Right.
protect yourself as much as you can.
Right. And the thing is, it's like Jose was saying, it's a business model. When we work, like we have certain people we work with, we have, and that's the thing I think is one of our strengths. We have very competent, very committed people. We do have several artists that are tied to us that we have anything to say, look, I'll drop what I'm doing to come work for you. We have people that are doing behind the scenes stuff. I'll work with you guys. Let me know what you need to do, what you need, because we try to. Alan, my brother, he helps with our marketing. We have another guy named Ray that does marketing for us. We have Rebecca, who is like one of our producers. She's a co-owner, but she's also a producer. She has her own little company that she's working with too. We have our own little company we're working with, but together we make i70movies, and we come together. We're pretty doggone strong because we all have these different strengths we bring it together. And we bring in different connections and network. We network because we know that in the end, it's the product that we want to be up front. We want to do a quality product and put our names to it. And the thing that got us over with Dark Iris was the biggest critique we had about it was somebody said, well, I would change this and change that. This could be a little bit better. But for $1 million, I can see what you guys are trying to do. And we said, $1 million? We didn't make it for $1 million. How much did you make it for? And we told them how much you made it for. They're like, okay, game changer. They started asking us, how did you do this for that little money?
So you
when we told them
the paradigm shift for
yes,
you.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. With the help of our team, and we have a good team. That's why I'm saying you grow with your team. You get your ride or dies, you put them in your car, you go. And you think about you have their back regardless of anything that happens. Because what's going to happen is, I always tell them on a team, and especially our owners, our ownership group, we always say, look, all good bands break up because somebody's going to get in your ear and say, you know what? You're the lead singer. Why do you need to be in this group?
Start
You
tearing
do
it
your
down.
own thing. Yeah, start tearing it down. And you have to have the fortitude to go, no. We are a group. The Rolling Stones have Mick Jagger, but Mick Jagger is not just the Rolling Stones. And he knows he needs to be with that group. He does his own thing by himself, but they're still the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
It takes 4 people to make the Beatles, right? And what happened to Kool and the Gang when JT left? You see what I'm saying? You can't have where somebody's like, oh, I'm bigger than the rest of the whole. No, we're a unit. We are a team. We're a unit. We have to look at it that way. Everybody has their strengths. If somebody's trying to move up to the front, they move up. Sometimes they go back, they move back. There's been times Jose's had to direct, been times that I've had to set back. I was in a scene, and then Beck's had to direct, and then we've had other people had to step up and do different things because we all work synonymously as a unit. And that's what it's going to take. And you have to be willing to put ego aside to think of what is the goal.
Okay, so stop right there. So how do you, I mean, in the entertainment industry, at least what I have witnessed or have colleagues in it, in other cities like Atlanta, New York, within the theater and out in LA, is egos. That's how they make their move, is based on that person's ego, which ironically, because of COVID, okay, and because of the economic shift in our country, that ain't working anymore. It's got to go back to actual talent and actual, you know, like you said, production and unit. But how do you work around that about egos? Because in the entertainment industry, that it's like sports. It's all about the ego. How do you do that?
Right. One of the things that, and that's a good question that you asked, but one of the things that Derek and I always talk about, it's like at the end of the day, what's best for i70movies going forward? You know, it's like we can't have all these egos pulling us in different directions because we'll never reach the goal that we're trying to achieve. So we always have to put ego aside and say, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to ingest something or learn something new, because everybody has great ideas. But at the end of the day, we all have to go in the same direction.
And the thing is, we're nothing without our team. It's like, we call ourselves the little mini Avengers, because we have Jose, myself, Rebecca. We have a young lady we just took on as a producer, Charlotte Galbraith. We have one of our set production people, Mary Petty. We have our makeup person, Sophia Ramora. We have our camera people, Andrew Thames, Jordan Graytech, Mike Fisher, Justin Malinky. All these people are like people that we cannot do this without, because they're that important. But the biggest part is we have a lot of love for everybody. We genuinely love everybody that works with us. We have actors that, sure, we have people audition for us that are like, oh, this person's been in this and been in that and been in this. The first question we ask, well, are they really better than somebody that we already know? Or are we just in love with the fact they did these other products? Because I'd rather take somebody that we've worked with, like say Tim or Kevin or whoever that we've worked with, London Grace. London Grace, this other young lady, she's been on other productions and everything like that, bigger productions, but she continues to work with us, and she's become a producer. She's gonna be a producer for us on A Wicked Breed. And it's just crazy, because everybody to a man says, we love working with you guys because we show the actresses respect. We show the actors respect. We give them room to grow within the roles. We listen.
Yeah, and there are no egos. I mean, we're business owners. Obviously, we're going to take care of the business, first and foremost. But we can put our ego aside and actually get on the level of everybody else and be like, hey, man, we're all in this together, man. We're trying to move forward with everyone. So if you ride with us, we're going to ride with you.
Which is sort of like what I like about you guys and your group, which I am just so honored. And I'm honored that our nonprofit on that side is, a partnership with you, is that you're transparent. Yes. PRC.
That's right.
Is that you're transparent. You're a transparent company. And to me, for the Ohio Midwest conservative, whatever role, whatever environment it in, you're a good model of that. So that's why I wanted you and asked you to be on this show, because I wanted, for Truthfully Speaking Grace has changed the game to hear I want to say just the everyday, but the phenomenal everyday business owner, filmmakers, artists, authors, speakers, all of that, to tell their truth, because you are able to touch those residents in Ohio, Illinois, Indiana quickly, and really mold them and make them better artists, because that's your model. Am I speaking over time? It sounds like your model is making everyone, not just the economy better, but the workforce better, right?
Right. Because what we think of this is like, you have to have a couple of things. First and foremost, we have most people that work with us have a strong, I know from our four owners, we have a strong faith in God.
Yes.
And we all pray. We pray before we do anything. We ask God to give us direction and tell us where we need to go with things. And we have strong families that support us, because there's times that I'm working till 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife's like, go ahead and do what you got to do. And we
have to take a trip out of town somewhere. Meet with some people.
Right. He's got kids, and he's got to like, hey, can you understand that Dad's got to go do this right now? And Rebecca's got kids, and she's got to say, hey, I got to go to Columbus. And she's in Florida. I go to Columbus and do this, that, and the other. And Alan's, we have regular jobs too. So we're working regular jobs and doing this on top of it. So we have to have strong families. So advice I would give to upcoming artists is, you have to work. You have to work, and understand that if you get a chance, say it takes you 3, 4, 5 years to do it, and then you make it. If you're doing this for the rest of your life, who cares about 3, 4, 5 years?
Right. That's why that business plan is important, because you start setting it up, because you don't want to just do something as a hobby and not make money out of it. Especially
You do not want to do it like a hobby.
Right. You want to do it like a job. So get that business plan in place so when that time comes, you can transition into doing what you love for the rest of your life and make money at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
This is so phenomenal, guys. You've touched on every point. So what are your future goals as a whole for i70movies? What is your major goals for your company?
Well, we're going to grow it. First thing we want to do is this. First, short term, we want to get a Wicked Breed done because we want a Wicked Breed. It'll be the first thing that we've done where it's produced by us with sponsorship dollars from within the community of Ohio. We're trying to do this with sponsorship dollars within Ohio's business model because we want to show that people, it's almost like if you can follow me on this, Akeva, we want to put a consortium together of producers so that we say that you have each person bring in, say, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. So you have a pool of money that you can produce 3 or 4 movies a year. And those 3 or 4 movies a year, you can start making money off those and then take that money to make more movies the following year and then grow it from there. But you have a consortium together of producers from the business community that are putting money into it because, for example, you see a Coke can in a movie, Coke paid for that Coke can to be there.
Yes, they did.
And there's so many ways. For example, people that did Dark Iris with us, a lot more independent film people.
Okay.
And many of them had never had their work ever seen because it never got out. And right now, many of them are like, wait a minute, this got distributed? You go, of course it got distributed. That's what we did it for.
Yeah, we're like in 11 countries now.
13.
I'm sorry, 13
We're in
countries.
13 countries. And streaming in on Amazon Prime and streaming on Vudu. And the thing is, we can do better because we know more now. We know more because people, like we want to do with other people, took us under their wing, like Trinity and a few other people, and said, hey, you know what? I see what you guys are doing. Here's what I want you guys should do to get to that next level. They've told us. I mean, people from LA told us, because you guys are this close. Here's what you need to do to get to the next level. They took time with us and said, do this. Literally, I was told by one of our friends, Trinity Houston, who's out in LA. She's a hustler. She said, let me tell you, you guys are very close. Here's what you need to do. Nothing is more important to me than my time, which I'm giving to you now to help you guys because you guys are this close. And we appreciated that. So we're taking that advice and doing what we need to do to get there. And it's going to take all of us to do it, all rowing in the right direction, rowing in the same direction. We just need people that have the money to believe in us and understand that we can bring a billion-dollar industry here on the ground floor to Ohio and not be afraid of it.
And that's our long goal, is to be a legitimized movie production company here in Central Ohio. We want to be like the Tyler Perry of Atlanta. We want to do it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And we can do it. We have every faith that we can do it. And
absolutely.
And we always say, Jose and I always say, we tell Alan and Rebecca the same thing. Said God didn't start us on this path to not finish. He's the great finisher. So he's going to finish.
He is the author and the finisher of faith.
Yes.
And you are walking it out.
Yes. Everything, I told you, everything we've done, we trace our steps backwards. Every single thing, every roadblock, we learned something from to help us in something that was coming.
Right.
When we were driving up to Cleveland, coming back from Cleveland, 2 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning. Dead tired.
And having to go to work, we're like, oh my God, why are we doing this?
Right.
We're doing it because I learned how to write a script. I learned how to write a script. I learned how to
on your lunch break.
Exactly.
It was all something that we learned. But the thing about that, we always progress forward. We've always moved forward with everything that we've done. Like Derek was saying, we've learned something, we've moved forward, we applied that to the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. Always learn something. Always take something away from something, whether it be negative or good. Take something away from it and learn from it, and then go forward with it.
Like you're talking about your son, he does music, right?
My youngest, he does produces. He's on the production side.
Right. So check it out. When we did Dark Iris, we said, well, let's get music from people here in Ohio. So we have like 3 or 4 original songs that are from Ohio recording artists, like Gina Ferraro, Miranda, Miranda Cornett, and a few other people. And the thing is, Tim Novotny. This guy's an actor, director, producer, and he does music. And we use some of his music for this, and he's in the movie. And the thing is, now their stuff is in 13 countries, and we won for best soundtrack when we were in another film festival. Right. We won for best produced film, best score, and Rebecca won for best actress.
So we won 3 out of 10 awards nominated for.
Right.
Well, let's end this. What advice for up and coming filmmakers? Your final advice for those type of business owners, and what kind of advice do you give them? What is your last word? And then I'm going to have you again advertise the project that we're collaborating with. But what is the advice that you give?
Simply is get a business plan first and foremost.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself and your art. Always learn something new. Always progress forward. Always keep that in mind that you don't want to just do this as a hobby. You want to actually make a living from it one day. So learn the business side of it.
Okay.
Whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay, cool.
My advice would be, if you want to do this, then you need to take it deadly serious. And you need to think, okay, is what I did good enough? Does it look like if I take this and put it on television right now and they not know the difference? Could I put this in the theater right now and they think, oh, wow, this is a theater level production? Find people that have the same passion you do. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Ask questions, always learn, and look it up. If you don't know something, look it up, find out the proper way to do everything. I do EEO, and I always tell people that are people of color that when a person of color walks in the room, right, the first thing they think of, since we're speaking truth, is who here in this room is going to hold something against me because of my color, because of my nationality, because I'm gay, or because whatever is going on with them right now, right? So you already start at a deficit. So you can't afford any slip-ups. You can't afford not to put your best forward, and always push yourself, and never, ever quit, and always know somebody's going to be quick to tell you what you can't do. People, losers like company. They want to see you fail. Never quit. Always get back up. Always get back up. Never, ever, ever, ever quit.
If you've done everything you could do at the end of the day, whether it goes your way or not, as long as you're true to yourself and you said, you know what, I've done everything I could do, that is success. That is not a failure. That is success. What you do is you learn from that and you move forward. And like Derek was saying, you don't ever quit.
Because you don't, in this, what I've learned in this journey, at least for me, is you never know who's watching.
Sure.
Right.
Just like that favor that happened to you when you so happened to fall right into into that, Avenger. You never know what God has for you. So you're always in preparation. My favorite, one of my favorite Bible stories is the story of Esther and the story of Ruth. I'm a woman,
Yes.
Both women were in some type of preparation. You know what I mean? Ruth prepared for Boaz by listening to Naomi. Who was the elder, who told her what to do, how to do it, how to serve this Boaz, how to work. Okay? Because you got to put the work in. That's a whole nother podcast about putting the work in. You just don't fall out of the sky and you got to, put the work into that. So to hear that truth from you guys and to bring it on home on a biblical stance is phenomenal for me, because a lot of people need to hear that, even if they don't believe or don't understand. They're gonna, we planted a seed of understanding that that kind of work is honor and it's honorable, you know. And I want the young people, the young up and coming artists who are going to pay our Social Security, okay? I need y'all to be productive citizens of the United States of America, because I'll be taking care of me. So I love going to movies. When we get out of COVID, we need to have new, fresh faces and filmmaking and writing. Oh my gosh, Derek, just to hear that you are a writer, that means you are creating new stuff. And so I'm excited. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. But before we end, can you please talk about, again, the project at the CDCRC, the nonprofit that I'm a part of, and what you need, again, to get this project to the next level?
Okay, I'll touch on that. What we're doing is we're doing a film. It's called The Wicked Breed. And we have a campaign, a Seed and Spark campaign. And you can go to the website. And I think that it'll appear under here somewhere at some point, the link, and go there. And what we're looking for is people to give us donations and help sponsor this, because we want to get up to 25,000 and beyond that to actually do this production. We're probably going to end up getting trying to get 75,000 to do the whole thing. But we want this campaign that will earn 25,000 so we can get the crew together. The movie's about, because I like writing. So I wrote my first horror, and what I thought was, what do I like to see in horror? And I put all of it in there. It's evil versus evil versus evil. A couple that uses a gas station for a hunting ground runs into a couple that's more dangerous than they are, and all of them end up in this house that has a curse upon it, and it all culminates in this house. And what I also did was I took something that was, you know, I like to think about women and give them strong roles. Well, I did my research, and in the 1800s, there was an affliction that was made up called hysteria that husbands used to use to have their women diagnosed with, oh, my wife has hysteria, let me put her in a nut house. So I can do my own thing, right? And so the story actually takes place in the 1800s, where it starts, and then it jumps to the present. And that's where the curse starts in this house. And like I said, I like to do my research when I do something. And the thing, when you talk about writing and creating, the best advice I got, and it was from Prince. I went to a sound check for Prince, and I was literally like about 10 feet away from him. And somebody asked him, they said, what new music do you like? And what Prince said was, I don't really listen to new music. If I want new music, I create it. So I said, I wanted something I see on TV. I want to see me on TV. I want to see what I like to see on TV. I'll write it and I'll create it. And there's nothing better than we did Dark Iris and the other stuff we've shot. When you're sitting there and people are liking the dialogue, they're liking the storylines, they're laughing at it. And then it hit me. I said, I wrote that. Creativity and love poured in. Believe in yourself. And you really can't be stopped, because what do we always say? God's got us. God's got us.
Well, I applaud you. Congratulations on all your awards, on pushing through and creating this model in Ohio. Thank you for being on my little podcast for now, because as you, I always, yes, I've done all these other business, political, community stuff, but this is really my heart. I love listening to others' truth, especially if it's going to bring value to me and others in the world. So that's what Truthfully Speaking Grace podcast is all about. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out on your very busy schedule. We will put all your information on my website, on the podcast, as we are marketing in this. And if anyone have any questions, we will have their information if you want to donate and give to this crowdfunding for this phenomenal project that I and the CDCRC Inc. here in Dayton, Ohio has collaborated with. Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate
you very much. And as we grow, So shall you. You will come with us.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be in a Marvel movie. I'm gonna be the heroine.
Don't be surprised. You may get tapped on the shoulder. We put our people in everything.
I can do that. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, Jose and Derek.
Bye.
Oh, thanks again, Gaither.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Much love.
Thanks for listening to Truthfully Speaking Grace podcast. Stay tuned for another episode with more real conversations, celebrating real and inspiring people from all around the world.